people, welcome to Footy Fans TV. My name's Kiri.
And I'm Sammy.
And today we're going to talk to you about the transfers in the Premier League. So, how do you want to get started, my friend?
I think we'll start with last season's standings. So Liverpool, then Man City, and then United and the rest.
All right, sounds good. So in terms of Liverpool, they've only had one player in confirmed so far as we record this, Kostas Tsimikas. I'm actually more interested in the players that have been linked with leaving the club.
Yeah.
So maybe we can start there. A couple of very interesting names on my side. So someone that I know you're a big fan of, Gini.
Yes.
What are your thoughts around that transfer?
I think it will happen. I think it's a massive step for him. Before the end of next week, it'll be a done deal.
Barca.
Yeah. The amount Liverpool are asking for is not really high.
He's got 1 year left on the
1 year
contract,
left.
so
Yeah, he's not.
that plays into it.
Yeah. I think it's done. It's difficult to remotivate someone that's won it all. With
Yep.
Liverpool, he's won it all. I think it's perfect time for him to
Good signing for Barca.
Let's see.
Interesting. And obviously Rakitic has gone as well from there. Vidal, I think, is on his way out to Inter. I guess the other player as well that's been linked with an exit, Mane. Now, I don't know how stable that one is, but I've heard Mane and Salah, I've heard Barcelona are also looking at them. But this was probably more around the time that Messi was linked with going to Man City and they're thinking about getting a replacement for him. Do you think Mane's a realistic one, or do you think that's more hype talk at the moment?
The thing with this transfer, there's things that are happening that I never knew. I never thought I'd be talking about Messi leaving Barcelona.
Yeah.
What's the likelihood of it? No, I don't think so. I don't think he'll be leaving. I think he's there for another season or two, probably sign an extension, and that's when the big clubs will come. I think he's still young. He's going to have a big move. He's going to go away.
Yeah.
But I don't think this is the time for him to do so.
Okay. And then on the other side, some of the names that have been linked, I've heard some really interesting commentary about the Thiago story. Yeah. So what I read recently was that a lot of the conversation around Thiago has basically been hype, coming more from the UK than anything coming out of Germany. So Thiago came out, I'm not sure if you guys saw it, said that he's very happy at Bayern Munich, had no intention of leaving the club, has no intention of leaving the club. You know, he's in the last year of his contract. He's obviously been linked with a move to Liverpool. I think that would be a really good move, especially if you see Gini go out the door as well. Yeah. But what's your feeling on that one? Do you think he's going to leave? Do you go to Liverpool? I've heard other clubs are interested as well. It sounds a little bit all over the place.
So this is the type of attitude agents have. If you look at the Messi situation, it's very similar. So a lot of noise. Then they go quiet. He was very quiet after the Champions League final, the win. He was evasive. He wasn't getting involved in interviews. He wasn't speaking much. And I think the fact that he saw that the attention from other clubs wasn't as expected, now he's showing love to Bayern Munich, saying, "Oh, I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to." It's the way football is now. Agents control everything. I think he would be great at Man United. I think he will be great at Liverpool. He's honestly, for me, during that Champions League final, he was the best player on the pitch. His intelligence, his style of play, the way he controls the game. Any team he goes to, I think he will be in the starting 11.
Anything else on the transfers on Liverpool?
No, not really. Just the players they released. I was a bit surprised.
Okay.
With Lovren, that was expected. Adam Lallana. There was a few players. I think Klein as well.
Yeah, Klein was a bench warmer though for a long time. They shipped him all over the place, and he's never going to get into that.
Big statement. Yeah.
Yeah. No, listen, big statement.
He's a young player.
Yeah. But is he going to start over Trent? Not at the moment. And footballers sometimes they don't really want to fight for their position. They want to go somewhere where things are a little bit easier. There's a lot of things that go into it. Like it's not that clear cut. So fair enough. Yeah. All right. So then let's get on to Man City. The players that they signed, interesting. Nathan Ake, who I know Chelsea had a first refusal on and didn't decide to take him back, played really well when he was at Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Ferran Torres, who I don't know that much about. Pablo Moreno, who I think they got on a free or a nominal fee. But what's crazy for me is the people that they've lost on the other side. I know they've got players coming through like Phil Foden, who's young, looks like a good talent, but they've lost David Silva. And they've lost Leroy Sané. And for me, those are two very, very big names. I know that Sané was injured. I know he didn't really figure into Guardiola's plans last season. Yeah. He's gone to Bayern. They've lost David Silva, who was phenomenal even last season. Obviously, he's kicking on a bit. What are your thoughts about their activity?
I think,
and they were linked to the big man as well. So
to Messi. But I think that at some point it's either Silva left or Foden left.
Yeah.
Because the hype around that young player is in England is unbelievable. The way they speak about him, the way they're trying to protect him, I think that was the best thing for him, for his career. I think he's going to develop as a great player with Pep. But I also felt like it was time for Silva to... He's done a lot for this club. Mm-hmm. A lot. He put this club... Sorry for the City fans, but he did put this club on the map. It was time for him to leave, I think. I mean, their bench is still ridiculous. They still have Riyad Mahrez on the bench. We're talking about one of the best African players in the last 6-7 years.
Yep.
So it's got to be a very... They lost in quality, but they still have very good bench.
What do you think about this Koulibaly talk? Because for me, what seems pretty insane is the numbers that they're throwing out. They're 70, 80 million euros. I mean, you guys comment down below what you think. But for me, for a player who's 29 years old, who's never played in the Premier League, that seems like strong money, especially when you look at, I know they're different positions, but okay, take Nathan Ake, for example. Young player, played in the Premier League, you could say somewhat proven, half the price tag.
Yeah.
I just think that's crazy for someone who's 29 years old.
Unfortunately, that's the market. The more clubs want you, the more your price will go up. He's been linked to Premier League teams. I think for 2 seasons, he was linked to Man United.
Yeah.
For 2 seasons, he was linked to... I think I heard rumours about Arsenal, about Chelsea, so all the big clubs. So 80 million, whether we agree or not, that's his price.
Yeah.
So I personally don't think he's worth that. But he's still a very good defender.
Let's move on to Manchester United, a club that I know is close to your heart. And look at the activity that they've done in the window so far.
Definitely.
So, Odion Ighalo,
yeah,
which we know about. I don't want to spend too much time on Odion Ighalo. For me, that's a laughing stock.
It is a loan though.
I know, but that's a joke. Odion Ighalo, he's a bench warmer. This is Manchester United that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Manchester United. I want to see players like Lewandowski linked with the club.
It's very difficult because the way we see our generation maybe sees United is the biggest club in the country in terms of trophies, in terms of history. You know, I know it's a fight with Liverpool, but it's still for us in the last, 30 years, it's still the biggest club in the country. I do expect bigger names. But I also feel players now, if they have the choice to go to Chelsea or to United, they'll go Chelsea. It's very...
But I think that's the London factor. I think it's a lifestyle thing. I think these players, they want to come to London, they want to party, they want to go to expensive restaurants, they want to go to nice shopping malls. And I think it's the London factor that comes into it because everyone's head's in the clouds. They're getting all of these big salaries and they're more interested in everything apart from football.
Yes, well, yeah, I agree on certain points. I
can't put Chelsea as a club up there with Manchester United. That's a disrespect. And I'm not a Manchester United fan, by the way.
You have to. Players nowadays, I never thought I'd see this, but players now would rather sign for Chelsea than Arsenal.
Yeah.
That is, the power has shifted completely. Guys prefer going to Chelsea. Growing up, Chelsea wasn't it wasn't a big club. Now it is.
I think they want to go there because they know they'll win things. At Arsenal, no one's winning anything for at least, listen, FA Cup, Community Shield, great, fantastic.
Yeah.
But, if you go to Chelsea, I've got a chance of winning the Prem, especially this year. Arsenal, you're not winning the Premier League for a long time. Champions League, you're dreaming. You've probably got more chance of winning the lottery than winning the Champions League with Arsenal. Donny van der Beek.
For the price we got him for, 40 million.
Oh, we? Okay.
That United.
You dropped that one on me.
United got him for 40 million. When you look at Ziyech leaving, all those top players left, why not him? He's a very good player.
And they've still got some serious ballers in their squad. Yeah. Quincy Promes, David Neres.
Yeah.
Players like this that I'm seeing doing really well.
He's a very good player. He is a hard tackler. We have great players, for me, like Pogba, guys who can play the ball, long pass, short pass, who can...
Fernandes has been a revelation.
Yeah, definitely. Very good signing as well. But he's going to add that, that extra tackle when our players don't when the United players don't want to do it, don't want to put the extra effort. I think he's a very good signing. I do believe they need a lot more, and I do think that it's a very, very light transfer window for them. But there's still time.
Listen, they're not done yet. I think Manchester United, if you look at their midfield, is probably the area where they've been struggling the most for a very, very long time. They haven't really locked it down.
Yeah.
You know, players like Scott McTominay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's a joke. The guy's a clown. He's not a Manchester United player. Strong opinion, but that's my opinion. I can't put him in the same category as Paul Pogba and Fernandes. Not in the same...
You can't. I understand that argument. You can't. But could you put Paul Pogba in the same category as Pirlo when Paul Pogba was an 18-year-old or 19-year-old going to Juve? You couldn't. So you need to give this guy time to play with the best. Pogba is one of the best midfielders in the world. Whether people agree or not, it's a matter of opinion. For me, he's one of the best midfielders in the world. McTominay is a different type of player. The problem they had at United is you had Mourinho that was trying to, get this competition going between two players. But I think he forgot that one of them won 2 World Cups, Paul Pogba, with the under-19s as a captain and with the French national team, and one that is a young player coming through the academy. So is he on the same level as the midfielders United have? No. Could he reach that level? Potentially, yes. He could be someone that brings something different to United.
All right, interesting.
That was a bit harsh, though. That was harsh.
Interesting. Let's see what happens from United. Still, transfer window's not done. I don't think they're done. They've been linked with some names as well. Thiago was in there as one of the names that they were linked with. They've been linked with Koulibaly as well. They were linked with Messi when the whole Messi saga was going on. Someone else that they were linked with as well, Wijnaldum from Real Madrid.
Yeah.
So there's still, I don't think it's done by any stretch of the imagination. Let's move on now and go to the team who's basically interested in every single individual on the planet. I heard that they came in and made a move for you at some point. Chelsea.
Yeah.
I think I've been very impressed with the business that they've done. Obviously, I'm sure many of you know they had a transfer ban, so they couldn't do any activity. Once the transfer ban got lifted, they were going to go back into the market and be really active. Wow, have they done that? They brought in all of these players. So Thiago Silva on a free transfer. I think for me, he brings experience.
Very good business. For him, very good bit of business from Lampard. Definitely.
And then Timo Werner, who I'm hearing they got him for 40 or 50 million euros, which for a player of his ability, he was scoring goals for fun in the Bundesliga in a team that, is not Bayern Munich or Borussia Dortmund. Leipzig's still a very good team. They've still won things.
Very good, yeah.
They've still won things. They've got good players, good young players that we'll come on to as well. But I think that looks like it could be a very good piece of business by Lampard.
Yeah, definitely. I think the way he stepped in the club and literally changing everything, bringing in young players, giving them time, giving them the platform to, express their talent, bringing in, experience as well with Silva. I mean, there's Ziyech as well. Ziyech was incredible with Ajax. He still needs to confirm all of that. It's good playing at a club where you're comfortable for a few seasons. Coming to England is very difficult. England is a very different style of football. It's you're playing for every game is 100 minutes. You have to literally be focused, giving 100. Every training session is different. Let's see what they do. But for me, this window for Chelsea was incredible. Incredible. Yeah.
And there's other names on that list as well. People like Ben Chilwell that they've brought in, who's a proven left back in the Premier League.
45 million?
This is the issue. Whenever a relatively talented English player moves to a club, there's always some kind of English player premium.
Yes.
So someone of his ability, if you went to Ligue 1, if you went to La Liga, if you went to the Eredivisie, if you went to Serie A, right, exactly. So let's see what happens. I think that position, that left back position, you guys comment down below, Chelsea fans, you probably know more than we do.
Definitely.
Comment down below what you think. That left back position for me, they've struggled to fill since Ashley Cole left.
Definitely.
They haven't had anyone of his ability. They brought in different players. Azpilicueta, who's a right back, has been their best left back,
Yeah.
and you want him at right back. So let's see what happens there. They got Malang Sarr on a free, but
very good player.
For me,
very, very, very good player.
The one transfer for me, which I hope there's a big price tag on this player. I hope it works out for him. Kai Havertz. I've been talking about Kai Havertz for the last 2 years. This kid is the next German sensation. I put him up there with players like Leon Goretzka, Leroy Sané, Serge Gnabry. For me, if they get this right, 70 million could look like a bargain.
But it can also seem like a massive, massive, massive bump.
Tell us what you think. I really want to hear what everyone out there is thinking about this transfer window. Comment down below.
Yeah.
Tell us what you're thinking. I want to hear from you guys what you think about this. Moving on, Leicester.
Yeah.
Last season they did really well. They dropped off a bit towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
They've only brought in Timothy Castagna from Atalanta to fill a position. I don't know if they're going to sign anyone else.
I don't think they'll bring anyone else. If they do, it's not someone that's going to drastically change their team and where they finished last season. I don't think they will finish higher than what they did last season. I don't see them doing much more in the transfer window. I don't see it.
Tottenham Hotspurs. Now we get into the fun part. 3 players in.
Yeah.
Højbjerg, Joe Hart, and Matt Doherty.
Yeah.
For me, this looks like a signal of the way Jose Mourinho is going to want to play football.
Mm-hmm.
The types of players that he's bringing in. He has a very, very specific way of playing football. I don't know if anyone's seen the documentary that they brought out on Spurs, but you can tell from the first few episodes that I've watched at least, he has a very, very specific philosophy, and he wants players that are going to work hard.
Yeah.
He had Samuel Eto'o playing in the defensive positions at times when he had him at Inter Milan.
Yeah.
Tried to do the same thing with Alexis Sanchez at Man United. And that's an interesting one, actually. Alexis Sanchez recently came out, said that after one day of training at Manchester United, he wanted to come back to Arsenal. You know, people have given him a lot of stick for that, which I think is really, really unfair, because there's a lot of personal things that were going on at the time that people are not fully aware of. But
I think it's the timing as well. I didn't agree with the few words you're referring to from Alexis. I thought it was a bit taking a dig at the players. He wasn't honest and clear about what he was unhappy with. He walked in, came out, said, "Oh, I want to tear my contract." It's not something ridiculous, mate. I mean, you're on 350 grand a week. If after one training session,
more.
Yeah, something ridiculous.
It's like $500,000. It was crazy money.
If you're not happy after your first training session, mate, just leave. Like, it's not. You want to make it a big deal. The same way you came, you can leave. Man United are a big club. You can go back to Arsenal, but I didn't think it was.
I think there's another situation that people don't understand. At the time, he was with his girlfriend. There was some other stuff going on in the background. He basically got caught texting someone else, and she found out. They broke up, and I think that also played into part of the reason why he wanted to get away from Arsenal, because of other personal things going on. And I think his headspace, he was probably in the wrong headspace. The fact that United wanted to pay him crazy money made sense financially, but once you get there, it doesn't make you happier. You know, whether you're earning 200 grand a week or 400 grand a week, you're not going to be twice as happy. Yeah. It's not really about the money at that point.
I think that's the most ridiculous excuse he could use. I don't care who he texted. I don't care who he was with. I'm paying 350 grand for a player that needs to come in and work hard. If he's not willing to work hard and going to cry over his ex and the girls he texted, don't text. Otherwise, we'll have a bunch of 20 teams of depressed footballers because they all text.
Yeah.
They all do these things. So 350 grand, come in, put your head down, work hard. You're not at Arsenal, it's Man United. Sorry to the Arsenal fans, but it's a step up.
Wolverhampton Wanderers. We move on to the team that for me was the shock of last year. I really didn't expect them to finish where they finished and play the football that they played. Not really any big activity. I know they brought in Silva, young. apparently to give Jimenez a bit more competition. I don't think they're in the same category at this point in time. Silva's young. He's an upcoming talent. He's the next. There's many labels attached to him. They've obviously let Matt Doherty go to Spurs, who was very good for them last season.
14 point, almost 15 million. Not bad. Made a bit of money on him.
I think they're going to need to strengthen a little bit more in this window if they want to be back up there again. Although fundamentally they haven't lost that many players. Thoughts from your side?
No, I think they were actually my little love, if you could say that. Last season, I really enjoyed their football.
Your guilty pleasure.
Yeah, definitely. I was watching their games, thinking, oh, like they're playing. I was looking forward to a Wolves game. It's crazy. I was looking forward to it.
I like the football, isn't it?
Yeah, very good, attractive football. Very good manager. You know, I think he's got good players. He managed to put a very good team together. He's got this season to confirm. I think he is still. No, he's been kicked out of the Europa League. But what a great journey it was for them. For Wolverhampton, it's crazy. It's very good. Very.
All right, let's see what happens with Wolves, and then we'll finish up on Arsenal. They brought some players in, some players which they already had. So Suarez, they already had. Saliba, they already had. Willian, who they brought in from Chelsea, which is crazy that he left Chelsea on a free. I would have expected Chelsea to do a little bit more to try and keep him. It's going to be one of those ones for me where they either made a great signing or they made a terrible signing, because if he falls into the bucket of players like David Luiz that come to Arsenal to basically die and get their one final contract, I hope that's not what Willian's going to do, because he's a good player. I want to see exciting players in the Premier League. So hopefully it's not his swan song, get my contract, chill, go to Nobu, go to Harrods, shop, enjoy my life. I mean, obviously the guy's free to do all of that stuff as well. Let's see what happens with that.
I mean, he's done enough at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Because he was in Harrods a lot. He was in Selfridges a lot.
More from a Premier League player's perspective. And I know that the club's been linked with Partey from Atletico Madrid, but Alexander Lacazette needs to go to free up space. See what happens with Alexander Lacazette. I don't know if he's going to end up leaving as well. I've had a lot of rumours.
I think they offered Guendouzi as well.
No one wants that guy.
He's a problem.
He's a massive problem.
He's a problem.
He's someone that thinks he's better than what he actually is. And the reality is there's many, many more talented players than him in the Arsenal team, in the Premier League, in European football. So he needs to relax, take his head out of the clouds and get some perspective if he wants to achieve the things that people say he can achieve. Otherwise, he's just going to be another take your pick of names.
It's very difficult with him because I heard that from the French national team, I heard that he was extremely sure of himself. He wasn't a humble guy. He came in, he had a call up with the first team. He was very arrogant, came in thinking, I'm an Arsenal player. I don't think he understands what being an Arsenal player is and means. I do think he's fallen in love with the lifestyle of a footballer more than the actual job. He's all over the place. His attitude is poor. I hope he does well at Arsenal for the sake of Arsenal fans, but he's not. I don't think he's ready for that.
No.
I think that was a massive step up, and I think Emery kind of blurred everyone's vision when he was putting him in every game. I mean, if you play 10 games, 15 games, you're going to look good 1, 2, 3. And we know how Arsenal fans are. They get hyped over personal opinion. But no, on a serious note, I think he could do well. I hope he does well. But I don't think
he's going to do well. His attitude's wrong. It's poor. You know, he's a list of players as long as anyone's arm. They just want to go out clubbing every weekend in West End nightclubs, on tables, drinking, not drinking, buying drinks for other people. Their head is in the wrong place. And it's a shame for the fans because the fans don't really see this side of the players, the lifestyle, the other things that go into it. Yeah. And obviously they're paying their money. You guys are paying your money to go every week with the expectation, or well, not at the moment, we're not going every week, but your subscription to the TV package or whatever it is, and you're not getting what you deserve as a fan. But that's also a failure on the club's part. You know about these players. There's ways that you can handle the situation. So let's see what happens with Arsenal in the transfer window. They've obviously brought some people in. For me, the best transfer they did was Mikel Arteta, because he's transforming things, slowly changing things. I think you need to give him time, see what he's going to do. He's obviously worked under some of the best management in the game.
Maybe the best.
So we'll see what happens. So I think we can wrap it up there. Obviously, the transfer window's not done. We've still got about a month to go. We'll see what happens. Comment down below. Tell us anything that you're hearing about transfers, rumours, things that are going on, players that you'd like to see at your clubs, maybe players that have left your clubs that you're not so happy about. Apologies for the clubs that we didn't mention. We want to try and keep the videos to a reasonable amount of time, but that's where you guys comment down below, like, subscribe, tell us what you want us to do, and we'll do that for the fans out there. So from me, Kiri, thank you very much. Really hope that you've enjoyed the video.
And from Sammy, we'll see you guys next time.
Take care. Bye-bye.